Right, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, wasn't meaning to do this, but somebody reminded me the other day how my machine looks nice and shiny all through the year, even though I've owned it 14 years, and I do ride it in the winter occasionally, not normally through choice, but it's still basically as it left the factory. And as it's mid-October, I just thought I'd go through some of the things I do to protect it from the winter, from the salt on the roads, and basically the dirt and crap that gets chucked up when you are riding in the winter. The main thing I use is ACF 50. Again, I'll point out I'm not sponsored by these people. If I was, I'd have a big drum of this here, but I haven't. That's my last little bit left. This is fantastic stuff, and there are other things. There's dinitrol, there's wax oil, there's various other stuff, but I've always used this, and I've always thought if it's good enough for the Navy to use on aircraft carriers, it must be pretty good stuff. I use that, and I use GT85 for cleaning basically before I put that on. Getting back to the subject of sponsorship and subsidised and all this, if you're not a subscriber, it would help enormously if you would, and it's very, very much appreciated. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the like and subscribe button, that would be great. If you're new to the channel, go back through some of the other videos. You'll see the machine, and you'll see it is in pretty good condition. So I'll just run through now what I've already done before we start this process. Right. Here's the one thing I didn't mention earlier was the fact that the ACF 50, especially when it's a little bit chillier, I always soak it or stand it in a cup of hot water. It just helps it to atomize when it comes out of the spray. And that spray bottle is what you get when you buy the, I think it's the, what is it called? It's 32 fluid ounce, which is nearly a litre. You can buy it in a litre bottle, and you get that applicator with it. The other way to buy it is a smaller spray can, an aerosol can, which is, I've written it down somewhere, which is 13 fluid ounces. The 13 fluid ounces averages out around about 17, 18 quid, whereas the litre bottle is 25 quid. So it's better value for money. I believe there's a 5 litre, which is 80, 90 quid or something. But anyway, beside the point, I always stand it in this weather just to help it to atomize as it comes out. I will be using a bit of Solvol Autosol as well. That will only be on the alloy wheels. I try not to use it on chrome if I can help it. Best thing is don't let your chrome get tarnished to start with. Now this this might sound a bit odd, but that's my oily rag that I use. Now that is impregnated with ACF 50. I use it all the time, and it's not dirty. It's not dirty. It was a dark blue T-shirt, I think, to start with, but I keep it in a bag with ACF 50 written on it, because it takes a lot to impregnate the rag, and I don't want to waste it. Believe it or not, over there I've also got one impregnated with WD-40 and one with GT85, but it saves wasting it, doesn't it? So just keep it in a bag clean, and it'll get a bit more impregnated this time. But anyway, this is what I've done to the machine for now. First of all, I've got it up on the paddock stands, and I've removed the seat, as you can see, because I will be spraying a bit of that under the electrical contacts. It's not just a rust preventative, this ACF 50. It's also a very, very good protects contacts. You can see, and I've got the front on the paddock stand as well. One thing I must point out before we go any further, that's not my real step. That's not my real ladder. That's my step ladder. I'll just get that in. So let's get on with it. First thing I'm going to do. I only do the wheels probably, I don't know, twice a year, because the wheels are a solid alloy. Obviously, they're polished alloy, but Triumph, for whatever reason, they don't lacquer them when they leave the factory, so they're open to the elements right from the factory. And some people they've complained of serious pitting. These, I must be honest, they're immaculate. So about this time of year, and maybe in April, May, something, I will give them a going over with Solvol Autosol spokes as well, because that's anywhere that's bare. Nothing like a good bit of metal polish. That's all it is. So we'll give those a good going over both sides. Right, here we're coming back to the valve cap. Do the spokes as well. Here we go. Right, that's that. Right, now time to buff them up. This is the real satisfying bit, I suppose, in the spokes as well. You can tell where you've been. Right, after I've done this with this is actually an old piece of roller towel. I mean, when hand dryers, electric hand dryers came in, I mean, these, you don't see these hand towels anymore. There was thousands and thousands of miles of rolls of lint-free, perfectly clean, lint-free cloth available. So I liberated one from where I used to work, so, well, a couple, and been using them ever since. But once I've done that, I then like to use the old-fashioned yellow duster. This one's a bit threadbare, just to give it a final, and nothing seems to bring it up cleaner than one of these yellow dusters. I only use it at the very end. Now, when we put the ACF 50 on these wheels, it will take the shine off a little bit. It's like an opaque, but for the protection it gives, who cares, you know. So I'll bore you with doing the other side. I'll buff up the other side in a minute. You can see there was still some polish left on there, but anyway, that's ready for the ACF 50. Right, we'll move round to the front wheels now. Again, very good rub. I don't like to use that Solvol on the chrome, because it is a metal polish, and only if your chrome's tarnished, fair enough. But I tend to just use the GT85, which is a silicon-based, as you probably know, a silicon-based lubricant. That brings chrome up a treat, to be honest. So unless I have to, I'll stay, because metal polish will take a few microns each time off the chrome, and eventually you will come down to the nickel. At the museum, at the National Motorcycle Museum, Solvol is outlawed. We just don't use it, because a lot of the machines there, the older machines, are nickel plated. They're not chrome plated, they're nickel. And you would go through that very quickly with Solvol. We use a special, very, very mild abrasive liquid on those. But right, that's that side with the metal polish with the Solvol. This side's a little bit more difficult with the spokes, because you can actually, the alloy is a little bit, you can feel the cloth dragging a little bit till the metal polish starts to do its job. So maybe there is a little bit of, I mean, the wheels will tarnish with just in, the alloy will tarnish just in the sunlight and exposure to air, but it doesn't need doing that often. Way around there. Let's do a bit of buffing. That's that side done. Right, now we'll start with the ACF 50. I'll give it a bit of a shake. As I say, it's been standing in hot water for a while now. It should, there, it atomises. I tend to spray it on the cloth rather than on the machine, because you don't really want this getting on brakes. I don't want to get, it's supposed to be okay on rubber, but I have read somewhere not to get it near chain links or natural rubber. Apparently it makes natural rubber swell, so sort of carb diaphragms perhaps, or any other sort of anything with natural rubber. So I try not to get it on the tyres. I believe some of the chains use natural rubber in their O-rings, X-rings, Z-rings, wherever they are now. So your cloth's fairly well. It's not dripping, obviously. So then I'll do again. Start where the valve is. Just give it a nice gentle, you can see the shine going off. But the other thing is, I'll show you on the frame later, I also go round all the paintwork, all the powder coating. So on the wheels, it's the whole lot. So that's the wheel, that's that side done. Right, the rack, pannier rails are obviously chrome. Now I did give those, the machine was pretty clean when we came in here today, and as I say, I do give the chrome a wipe over with GT85 with my cloth that I impregnated earlier. It has my little plastic bag over there, but basically just go around with the same cloth. Now I know the indicators on the Bonnevilles, the indicators and the backlight, they're plastic chrome, but I just do those as well. And the reason I've taken the seat off is to get absolutely everywhere. Anything where the salt and the grit and the dirt can get, I'll just do it. This side, I always try and do it symmetrically, so you know which bits you've done, and which bits nothing worse than dodging all the way around, side to side, back to front, and you think, oh, have I missed a bit? If you do it systematically, hopefully you won't. And the other thing I do, again, I don't spray it straight on, is shock absorbers. They obviously, these are alloy, the tops are obviously alloy. I don't think these are obviously the original Triumph shockers, which everybody seems to condemn, but if you've seen one of my other videos, you'll know that I'm not going to bother changing them until they start leaking. And they're a chrome, I think they're a chrome spring. These are, again, like they left the factory, and all I've ever done is used GT85 and this ACF 50. Try and get that in all the way around. I don't spray it on the push rod because of this little bit of doubt about the issue with rubber, with natural rubber. I don't know what seals are in there, but I don't want. Again, we got a chrome chain guard on this machine, so give the chrome a good going over. And the other thing is the paintwork and powder coating. This, whether you're protecting it or not, this is what I use on all the frame rails. We'll come to the engine in a minute, but on all the frame rails, all the way around the bike, it brings the black powder coating up. Absolutely beautiful. It really does. So I use it during the summer, which is probably why I use it during the summer, mainly just on the paintwork and the frame tubes. Sorry, not the paintwork, obviously, the tank. I mean on the powder coating and the frame, on the frame. Obviously I wouldn't use it on painted stuff, but on the tank and side panels, whatever. But anywhere there's a powder coating on the frame, it is absolutely beautiful. It brings it up a treat. I'll come to the engine casings in a moment. Now, for the engine casings, mine are black. I know a lot of people have got the brushed or the polished aluminium ones. Again, just keep refreshing it. This brings the casings up. Beautiful satin black. They too tend to go a little bit greyish if you don't look after them. But this, it does smell a little bit when the engine gets hot. But basically, it soon burns off. You get a little bit of smoke sometimes as well. But it is absolutely fantastic on this crinkle, whatever it is, heat paint or whatever it is, high paint. Now you've got the polished alloy fins on the head on mine. So again, just give those a little any way you can get. Now for in between the fins, I've got this. I think it's a piece of trim, like a trim tool. I just poke that in there. I use a bit of plastic. If you can use a screwdriver, you can use anything. But if you poke the screwdriver through the cloth, you're going to scratch your engine casings. So just to make sure that's. A lot of people forget in between the fins, and again in between the fins on the barrel as well, all the way around. Basically today I'm just going to do the one side of the machine. I mean, you'll see everything there is to see. And again, as I say, just everything that shines or is powder coated, just do it. Any alloy, and if you do that, I can guarantee you won't get. There's another frame tube in there. I don't bother with the stainless steel exhaust. That does smoke a bit. I mean, it's obviously unavoidable to get some on there, but absolutely everything. Now, the reason I took the seat off, you can see there's a lot of electrics and relays and whatever under there, the batteries under there. I do use the spray just to give those a spray. Battery terminals. Just to protect them. Almost forgot this bit. The other thing I do about this time of year is refit this mud flap. I've never seen another one like it. It was fitted to the machine when I bought it. It's held with one screw there with a tiny little nut on the other side. I don't know whether it's homemade or an aftermarket one, I don't know. It is rather big and it is especially ugly, but it does an excellent job of keeping the crap from going all around here, up here. So I'll just put it on for the winter. It's, as I say, it's ugly as sin, but a lot of the ones you see are very small, like a V shape on there. But that one is it's a proper mud flap. Oh, it might be off a transit ban, I don't know, but it's a proper mud flap, that is. As I say, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does a damn good job. The other thing to remember, I think I've already mentioned it, if you do happen to get any, because I've done the calipers very carefully with my oily rag, my ACF 50 rag. If you do even the hint of getting any on your brakes, give the brake discs a clean with brake cleaner straight away if you can. The tank off earlier in the year to do the valve clearances and everything, but and I did spray the electrics underneath there at the time, and I also had I will take the headlight ring off, and there's obviously more connections in that headlight bowl. Let's go around. There's more connections inside there than you would believe. So just under the screws, headlight rim off, blast it, just blast it inside there. Anywhere there's any electrical connections. But I'm going to carry on now, go all the way around the machine with the oily rag, the ACF 50 rag, and that'll be ready for winter. For my winters anyway. As I say, I don't. If you're a tourist and you go out winter and summer, then maybe you want to use something else, or maybe do it more often. I do the handlebars, absolutely everything. As I say, I've just done. You don't want to be bored with me going around with an oily rag all day, but I guarantee if you use the ACF 50 and you keep the chrome and the alloy clean, it should be fine. A lot of people on the different forums have said, how do you keep that damn thing so clean? And people at garages, you must spend hours and hours on it. Well, I suppose I do, but not as much as people think. It's just using the correct products and using them properly, I suppose, and having the time to do it. You do meet some people that say, oh, no, there's no point cleaning a bike. I disagree. I disagree strongly. Yes, there is. It helps you find oil leaks early. It helps. It just look after. I'm not going to say it now. Look after your bike, and it'll look after you. I ain't going to say it. Well, it's too late. I've already said it. But anyway, that's what I do. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to do it, if you don't, don't. But you will not regret it. Again, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like and a subscribe, I'd be very grateful. But safe riding, and I'll see you next time.